Hey guys, welcome to NRL Fantasy Buy Hold Sell What round is it?
17.
17.
17.
Fuck, thank you. We're trying out a new format today. I don't know if it's something people will prefer or not, but let's just get into it. We've got our summary from last week. Average score distribution was 787. I think both of us got just around that, probably a bit under, a
Yeah, a little bit under.
little
About
bit
38
under.
points under, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I have my team here at the ready. I had some highlights, I had some lowlights. Drinkwater's not really doing what Drinkwater was meant to be doing, but we have Herbie on our team, which is a massive win. And
Mm,
he is one of
mm.
the first buys of the video. Herbie Farnworth. Ryan recommended to me to buy him, what was it, round five, you said?
Yeah, it was about round 4 or 5, I think. Yeah, kind of brought him up. And
And what did I say?
it's, you said that it's they're not paying that much for a center. And look what you did, and look how well it's worked out. So, um, yeah, it's just incredible scoring. I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't even know. Like, it's so frustrating to watch. And then, like, also, I own Katoa, but watching those games is just painful. Seeing what he does. I mean, you could argue maybe he's in a bit of a good patch at the moment. Like what? It's a try every game, apart
Yeah.
from last week, but he had a double recently as well. So look, maybe he goes back to those early 50s that he was getting at the start of the year. But look,
Don't count on it, mate.
yeah, it's so hard to not own.
Yeah.
But it is a lot. It is a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
So
You've got a lot of big targets that we're all going to be wanting soon, especially when Origin wraps up. So you're going to have to hit a stage where these keepers, you're not going to be able to have all of them. And I guess your main point of
yeah,
difference will be getting the right cheapies in and picking the right pods of keepers. It's probably a lot harder to gain ranks. I'd imagine after 19, the only way you probably
yeah,
can is if you have a crazy amount of trades. So this is the last push, in my opinion, to go super with it. Um, I think Herbie's must own, but it is one of those situations where if you haven't had him for at least a couple of weeks, it is a bit tough now. He's probably one of the most expensive pure centers that's worth his price, probably in the history.
ever.
Prob-
Yeah.
Um,
I guess the only thing as well, he misses 18 and 21, it looks like. So it could be someone maybe by around 22, right? If you have the cash to spend at that point.
yeah,
But
that's. I think
yeah,
that's safe. Break evens. You never know what happens with break evens and stuff, but I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, the end of the season, you're going to want him in your team.
yeah,
Um, And Couchman's a similar boat. I think he's must have. You can see top 100 here. Actually, less than Herbie, 93%. He's actually at a pretty good price right now, just because I think he's been dropped away from prop into second row for the last few games here. Um, yeah, he's
yeah,
must have in my opinion as well.
yeah. He should move to the middle some point this game. So I'd assume based on their old rotations that they used to do, and that's obviously where he shines. And I mean, even still, he's priced at the 51. So look, he's going to outscore that definitely, and plays 18, which is huge. And actually, and 19 as well, which is also pretty big.
Yeah, and like you can just looking at his tackles here for base stats, averages 40 a game with one missed tackle a game.
Hmm.
Um, he's basically hitting his price stat with meters gained easily every
Yeah,
game. And then, you get a tackle
yeah,
break, maybe you get a try assist. Um, it's good value. Like he's not only a season keeper, he's good value right now. He's at a good price. If you don't own him, you should be getting him into your team this week. Latu
yeah.
Fainu.
Then yeah, obviously the did you buy him 2 weeks ago? Was it or
I had him for
15?
14, I think.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, he's still a good price to buy now. So we actually don't know how he looks in a full game at halfback. He played the one there, I think, last year. Scored a try, but there is still a bit of unknown about his actual scoring potential. But probably the best cash out we've seen for a while, I would say, right? Like full time role, pretty secure. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
the
I
big
mean,
point is he plays 17. Sorry, he plays 18, and a lot of people are struggling for a halfback role. So although he might not be the most points for you, he'll cover that position for you safely while also being a cheapie at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and again, obviously for me now, it's down on 40K of price rises, so it's not that big of a deal. And definitely someone I'm looking to target this week.
I think, like what you said, there is a possibility that maybe at halfback he actually does score a bit less. Maybe coming off the bench as fresh legs, you know, playing wherever he wants, more so than having a set position, might impact his PPM. But I think he's a pretty
Mm,
safe option. I already have him, so I'm happy days for me. But yeah, I think he's best cheapie buy of the week.
sure. Yeah, then Jaden Brayley as well is sort of another what was he 75K more expensive. So depends how much you need to cash really, but has the potential to play in the same role as he has now for the next like 4 or 5 weeks and make quite a bit of cash. I remember we both bought him last year when he moved into the starting role and went up quite a bit and quite fast too. So it's probably a play if you have a few more trades because he's someone that you could probably keep for like 5 6 rounds and then he might be around mid 500Ks and then you can maybe move him on to someone else as well. But if you're low on trades, it obviously is at risky considering he might get dropped back to the bench role or out of the side come later on in the year.
Yeah, and I think the main reason you're saying this becomes viable is because Crossland's keeping 13, you think, for the foreseeable
Yeah,
future, right? For the
yeah,
next few
that's
weeks at
yes,
least.
yeah. It's been going around the fantasy circles. The Barry too, he's quite close to the Knights team. Is saying that whilst Crossland's playing well, he's going to stay at lock. So I mean, the Knights have a few things going on. I think they're trying to get Talon to Silver in next year, so they've actually got anyone to play Booker this year that they want to play long term. So there's a few things going on there, but yeah, so he should keep the role for definitely like 2 3 weeks. Longer than that, it's obviously it's a risk. But back here in the four, it's a good opportunity to make some pretty quick cash.
Yeah.
So
Averages 50 when playing 80 minutes at hooker. Doesn't play 18, but yeah, probably second best cashier of the week, in my opinion.
mm,
Reece Walsh has finally started scoring after a very shit start to the season. One of those games was 2 tries, so without those, he would have had mediocre scoring again. And he had a lot of line break assists and try assists in this recent game. I'm not really sold on him completely. I think, I mean, it probably won't happen, but there is also a possibility he gets picked for Origin over Ponga. I feel like Ponga has not really done anything at all, basically all year for either Queensland or Newcastle. So yeah, I'm not too set on Reece Walsh, but I can see the value there.
yeah, well, I guess I'd be surprised if they drop Ponga after winning game two. It's the only thing, but I guess it comes down to like he's not really a top fullback. Like obviously, if he's not goal kicking, then yeah, he probably is. But without that, he's just gonna probably average you between 45 ish, whilst having like the occasional low game. And so I don't mind it. I probably prefer it to Turbo now, considering Turbo's in centers.
Yep.
But look, I honestly like, I'd probably rather buy like a drink water, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like
Yeah.
or again, like if obviously if you need a wing fullback next few weeks, there are a ton of options at especially this price. But can you like wait off until Campbell or Latrell, someone like that in that position?
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, he might be a viable option pursue when people are pursuing other keepers, having a cheaper wing fullback with ceiling potential.
Mm.
It's not a risk I'm going to take, but I mean, it could be a big payoff for you if you do take that risk.
There is value. There is value definitely. Yeah, then Jacob Kiraz, obviously a guy that well, I mean, obviously I think everyone's bringing in this week really, so it's not much to really say. I just he's just got such a good fantasy game, so many offloads this year and tackle breaks. So it's one of those things where the fact that he's been so highly brought in kind of puts me off a little bit, but then also I mean he's going to score well, so it's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams will be aiming for him, but he's still not that highly owned, I guess, just because of the injury. He is very injury prone as well. And despite that, he also is a Origin candidate. So he's not the safest of options, but a lot of people, including myself, need a center wing fullback option for round 18.
Yeah,
The only reason I did sell him off my team was because of that injury, which was lot more short term than we first expected. But yeah, I agree with you completely. He's offloading like crazy, even though sometimes they might not provide that much value to the actual game. Um, but his base stats are there, so when he does have games where he scores a lot of tries, like he did in round 9 here, he got 3 tries, he can easily hit that crazy 100 mark, and then if you don't have him in your side, you're kind of screwed. So it's almost a situation where it's safer to get him in than to not get him in, despite the risks he brings with him.
oh yeah, and, he's playing on the best team in the league as well, so he's going to have plenty of attacking opportunities. So yeah, it's one of those ones where I think yeah, you're way more likely to regret not buying it than to just jumping on and leaving in your team for the rest of the year.
And then his mate Preston, we both owned him earlier in the year, and then 4 week suspension, I believe it was, for multiple crusher
Yeah,
tackle incidents. But he's back, and he's a second row keeper for the rest of the season now. No more. Am I correct in saying no more buys for the rest of the year?
yes, no
Yeah.
more.
So them and Storm, basically anyone on the Storm and Bulldogs now are buys, as we touched on
Yeah,
last.
yeah, definitely. And it's like obviously, assuming he does play every single game, which he might rest one, even though he hasn't played a ton of 40 this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if he plays out the whole season. And so with that in mind, with his average, he's gonna I can almost guarantee he score the most like total points in the edge spot from here to the end of the year. Because obviously other good players that buys or obviously someone like Eli Katoa, I just don't think will score as well as Preston. So he's pricey, and I understand people maybe looking at that and going, well, do you wait and then use that sort of cash to get Haas back in? That probably is fair enough, but as well, though, like with Aiken, obviously I know he moved to centers last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, but with Aiken maybe not being that keeper's gun that people thought, and KPP also going a little bit down recently as well. I think having someone like Preston could be huge for your side. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely want him in my team at the end of the year. There's going to be a couple people that I have in that boat though, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, him along with Couchman and Koloamatangi, in my opinion, are must-haves. Those other two options have
mm,
the mid-edge duel as well, which means that you can have all three, which hopefully does happen for both of our teams.
yeah,
Scotty Drinkwater. This man I bought a couple weeks ago, probably at his maximum price, basically. And he's done absolutely jack shit for me. But he comes at a good discount for everyone else. He's a very rocks and diamonds player. He'll have games where he does nothing, and then he'll have games where he pops off and gets what's his 75 fantasy points in round 8. Um, his break even is 68 this week, but like Ryan mentioned to me earlier, he's versing the Knights this week. So
at times.
the Titans. So achievable for sure. If I didn't own him, I'd probably wait a week, but he's someone that you can jump on now for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he's doing a very good Kellen Pronger impression. It's funny. Like I waited like so long to buy him, kept putting it off, and I think I bought him before it was 44 in round 10 when it was priced 705K, thinking that I was getting there early and getting like a season long keeper in, and then he's probably averaged like 35 since then. So um, yeah, the Cowboys have just been so shit that that's been their problem. So well, I think they conceded 100 points over the last 2 weeks, something like that. So
Yeah.
uh, not great for them. And then Melbourne and Canterbury in the 2 weeks following the Titans. So, but like he has scored well in losing games, so that's not really the issue. It's more just about them actually generating some sort of offense whatsoever. So, I think you obviously can wait if you need someone. If you don't. if you already have Kiraz for some reason, or you don't really like Kiraz as a scorer, and you want to go sharp to drink water, I don't think it's, I think it's a fine option.
Yeah, he's definitely better than Reece Walsh, I think, out of the two
Mm,
cheaper wing fullbacks. A couple people might be thinking about Ponga soon as well, but I think Drinkwater still is ahead of him.
yeah.
We both sold this man a couple weeks ago, and it's come to bite us on the bum because he's gone off with a groin injury and then come back and decided that he's going to throw as many offloads as he can and run for as many meters as he can. So we're in a bit of a pickle. I think we sort of just have to suck it up and wait for round 21 after his bye. So it's gonna be a pain, Haas hate watch for the next few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like again, like whenever I own this guy, he doesn't do that well. When I own him, he does well. So it's just you just can't win.
No,
And um, look, I mean, yeah. So hopefully, he gets maybe like 250 scores for the next two games, like some sort of cash, and then it's a bit better to buy. But yeah, just so frustrating. But yeah, I do think though that you have to wait until round 21.
yeah, and he is must have in my opinion. You need him in your side. There's no question about it. After 21 onwards, yeah. Isaiah Yo is not
And then
someone
your guy,
that is a buy
yep, you guys are.
for the next couple of weeks, but like we are talking about earlier with those long-term season keepers, he's definitely someone that I'll be looking to target. Um, if I filter by minutes over, let's go 60.5 average, priced at 56. A little bit underpriced, I guess, at the moment, but definitely someone that's has a very consistent baseline. And yeah, it's going to be tough to get all of these people in. So he's going to be one of those people that you're going to be tossing up.
Yeah, I guess for me, I actually don't know if we've included him in this list for now, but Tino as well is another one who, look, isn't as consistent as, oh, yeah, there is. It isn't as consistent as Yo, but it's probably going to be about 100K cheaper. So when it comes to fitting all these guys in, he's definitely one that I think, as much as obviously I'll love to have you on my side, I could save that money and then obviously that helps me get in some other players in that we'll mention a bit later on as well. So I think they're both pretty good options. Both, I mean, again, if a Yo plays 80 every game, Tino hasn't really. So that's a bit of a concern, but I think they're both good options though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I've filtered those stats there with, certain things in mind. If we change it, it drops a little bit. But his break even is very high this week. He'll have origin duties, so come late rounds 19, 20. Yeah, he'll probably be a discounted Yo. So I agree with you.
Mm,
I'd probably be prioritizing him over Yo, but you never know what happens.
yeah.
Um, Mr. Papenhausen, like we mentioned before, they don't have a buy for the rest of the year. So if you're someone that is rating him highly over people like Drinkwater, Reece Walsh, Tom Travojevic, I don't think you really need multiple of those people. I think you only really need one because then obviously we have Jaden Campbell, Latrell Mitchell, which we'll touch on later, um, and James Tedesco. So I think you
Yeah.
probably want to pick one out of those lot.
Yeah, I guess the benefit is that, he's only owned by 14% top 5,000. So it's a bit of a pod in that sense. And so if you back the Storm to do well to end the season, then yeah, he could be someone that makes you a few ranks. I guess that, I do assume that he's the goal kicking full time. I don't know what happened with Nick Meaney, if he's back yet or what's going on there, but yeah, assuming he does keep for the rest of the season, like I think he's on average around 50, and so it's still a good pick. I just think like it, there's that small amount of risk, and I just don't think you want to be doing that when like everyone's low on trades and we're trying to get in the best team possible. So that's the only kind of negative, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. I guess that goal kicking is very nice, having the four average. He's been averaging a try. He gets 147 run meters a game. So his base is there. I think Storm are the best defensive team in the league personally and statistically. I think that probably would also be correct. So He can have games where he goes absolutely crazy, like he did here in round 10. He got 4 tries. Um, but yeah, uh, if you're playing it safe, he's probably not a top priority. But like Reece Walsh, high risk, high reward sort of play, in my opinion.
Mm,
All right, we have
definitely.
5 minutes left because we're poor and can't afford Zoom Premium. So let's try to speed through these. Do you want to touch on Turbo this week?
Yeah, I guess very similar. Well, not very similar, but kind of similar to Reece Walsh, where a bit of risk, and I definitely would just see how he plays at center, see how that actually goes. The Seagull CEO did come out and say like he's not guaranteed to stay center for the rest of the year. So as a kind of pseudo cash out, I don't mind it, but obviously there is a bit of risk there now without him playing fullback.
Yeah, I think I think currently there probably isn't any Seagulls players that are a buy. Maybe holding Ruben Garrick just as coverage over this period, but I think Seabold was given a couple weeks to turn around the team. Otherwise, he might be getting sacked, and don't know what that's going to do for morale. So yeah, maybe probably
Yeah.
one to stay off until a bit later. Latrell Mitchell obviously won't be playing much in the near future. He'll be playing this week with a relatively low break even, so it is possible to get in, but he won't be playing round 18 due to Origin. But in my eyes, I think in your eyes as well, Ryan, he's definitely a long season keeper for fullback.
Yeah, I originally wasn't like that into him like the last few weeks, but for some reason now, like Humphreys isn't kicking the ball as much, and so he's kind of just doing everything offensively. And his average now at fullback is up to like 59, I think it is. So yeah, it's yeah, obviously, he's so fun to own as well. So does have two buys in Origin left. So that's something to keep in mind. But clearly a very fun pick, and right now, owns by 0% of the top 100. So that will change, but if you're able to keep some money aside and keep some players to trade for him aside, then it could be a great pod.
Yeah, 660 kick meters basically 2 weeks in a row is
Mhm.
crazy. Like just base stat wise, and goal kicking, like he's going to be must have. Unless something happens with Humphreys, we've got a picture of him here because he's so sexy. Jaden Campbell is a hold this week. A bit like Scotty Drinkwater, I brought him in and he's kind of shafted me a little bit. I was scared this would happen from both of them, which is why I was so hesitant to do it. But yeah, definitely a hold. And he'll be at a very good discount for people in a couple of weeks. He's got a high break even now. Are you going to be bringing him in?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those kind of almost like boring picks now where everyone owns him, but he's priced at 50 now, could lose another 20, 30K, and he's averaging 60 when we take out his HIA game. So yeah, I mean, to get 10 points of value on some price at 50 is pretty insane. So yeah, he's pretty clear by.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, 19, 20. Yeah,
you're almost at an advantage if you don't have him yet. And then last man of the
Paul
week we'll
Fletcher.
talk on is Fletcher. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think everyone kind of knows about it now. But yeah, probably not going to play again and this season, not forever, but this season. And yeah, I mean, it's just such a good opportunity to move them on. Helps you out for round 18, bring someone like Kiraz or Walsh in. So yeah, it's a shame. I really enjoyed watching him play this year, but yeah, it kind of has to just go for my fantasy sides
Yeah, he had a great run. Um, he'll have a big future, but he'll probably be too
for sure.
expensive to pick up next year. But yeah, you never know. You never know.
We'll see.
All right, well
Is that it? Is
that
that it?
wraps up everything.
Yeah.
I guess let us know if you guys prefer this content or you prefer the slides. I actually kind of like this. I think this was good. Um, let us know if you have any trades that you're thinking about. We'll get back to you on our opinions, and best of luck for the week.
There goes.